Well, here, take a look at Reynad. He is hanging out from California over just over by the beach. He beat Avery, a notable player, and he did beat a couple other people to his path. Meanwhile, Rage, he's also from California, and he beat Lead Paint, who we saw in the ESL finals. So he's got a notable player under his belt.
Yeah, each of them have a notable player. Ari won Hearth Stats, which was a tournament quite a ways ago, and Lead Paint made it to the ESL Legendary Finals, which required going through a bunch of hoops to even get there. And then he did all right in it. Nothing too notable out of it, but at least making it there is really notable because you have to win multiple tournaments to get to that point.
That's right. That's right. Well, Reynad, he's going to be bringing Mage, Hunter, and Warrior, no Druid. And Rage also has no Druid. He's bringing Warlock as opposed to the Warrior. No Warrior for Rage. That's interesting.
Yeah, no Warrior is a bit interesting. It leans more towards maybe some sort of anti-Druid focused lineup because Hunter and Mage are both typically really strong against Druid. And we have seen a lot of Druids in the tournament so far, which could explain some of its success there with the lineup. But Warlock can sometimes struggle against Druid if it is a faster variant with Zoo or something. It's going to be exceptional against Druid. So maybe you can kind of gauge based on the fact that he has Hunter and Mage that that's possibly a Zoo lock just from looking at the lineups, but there's no way to be certain about that. And from Reynad's side, I'm assuming we have Hunter, Patron Warrior, Tempo Mage. Do you have any insight on that, being that you know a lot about Reynad and Tempo Storm?
I thought he was playing Druid today, to be honest. He was asking for the deck list of Druid a few days ago, and I guess now he decided not to, last-minutely. So the thing about Tempo Storm is that everyone has very differing opinions on what's good in the metagame.
For sure.
Gara has the opinion that you should always do this and that, and then guys like Reynad are always uncertain about stuff. So there's different mentalities that just immediately clash. I don't know what type of mage it would be. My guess would be Tempo Mage because everyone's bringing Tempo Mage of some kind.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Tempo Mage. But Reynad in the past has played Freeze Mage in some events.
It's true. And his opponent doesn't have a warrior, so it'd be very timely, and that'd be very surprising to see him just bust it out.
Yeah, I don't think right now it's a good metagame call for Freeze Mage due to the just influx of druids and the mass amounts of warrior. Almost every player has warrior.
And he has the warrior, which I would be guessing is Patron as well.
Ooh, the flare from Rage.
Ooh, he wants to kill the Secrets Paladin.
Yeah, and Argent Horse Rider, so it seems like it's more of a Face Hunter variant. So we're going to see, judging from the mulligans, I'd say this is probably a Face Hunter mirror. And Rage has got the flare already lined up to help deal with the Explosive Trap, which can be a huge swing card in this matchup.
So he keeps the flare, ends up trying to go for the curve. Oh, but the rest of his hand.
The rest of his hand is very, very bad. He's not going to be able to take early game initiative.
Oh, man.
That doesn't help at all either.
I mean, it helps if his opponent's at 6 life or less on turn 5, but that's about it.
Yeah, Reynad's got free range here to develop the board. We see a Shredder, maybe it's more of a hybrid hunter, or possibly even still a mid-range hunter just with a Glaive Zuka tech thrown in there.
Yeah, and Glaive Zuka gives him a lot of flexibility with the Hunter Creeper as well. So next turn he could play Hunter Creeper this turn and then Glaive Zuka to follow it up. Mad Scientist does give you good tempo if you can draw a secret out, but we all know that there's Flare on the other end as well.
Yeah, I definitely like getting Hunter Creeper down first. Usually in aggressive mirrors, especially Hunter v Hunter, whoever gets a Hunter Creeper down first is monumentally ahead. But Scientist also, the trap is very good. Freezing Trap can slow things down a lot. So I'd be surprised to see Explosive Trap come out of this Scientist because he's trying to get it out there first. So I'd expect probably Freezing. And Rage gets nothing to help him here.
That is a very bad draw. To just play Explosive Trap just like that feels so weak.
I may even consider hero powering because you got to figure the next minion that comes out is going to die to Explosive Trap as well. Because when you coin out a 2, the likely follow-up is another 2-drop. And it's probably going to be Hunter Creeper, Scientist, or Juggler, all of which die to the Explosive Trap, so you can milk a little bit more value out of it, assuming there's no flare from Reynad's side.
But then, no flare. Well, one thing that's interesting is I don't know if the flare even truly matters sometimes, if it's Freezing Trap, because he's already so far behind on board. So it'd be a scenario where, who knows, maybe... Okay, he does play the Explosive Trap, by the way. So I think he just feels like he just needs to control the state of the board too much. If he falls too far behind, takes too much damage, he's in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he has the 3-drop that lines up very well on curve for next turn, so it makes sense following his curve here. And if Reynad chooses not to attack to proc the trap, then he's got the bow to follow up. Because at this point, Reynad has no idea if this is explosive or if this is freezing, and he's
Right.
probably leaning more towards freezing by the slow start. So,
Yeah, it's a tough call to make.
yeah, if it's freezing, how would you deal with it? You'd probably have to wait for Unleash to try and deal with it. But then if you're waiting for Unleash, you're slowing down a lot of tempo, and then Unleash gets punished by explosive. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a double-edged sword there. But yeah, it looks like he is going to believe it is freezing, and he's going to develop into it and then try and wait for that turn 3 Unleash to get the freezing trap procced with the Unleash the Hounds. And yeah,
Is he going to play into it?
I can imagine this going right to the face.
Yeah. And so now, Reynad's caught back in an awkward spot.
Animal Companion is a solid pickup, but proccing the trap's not good for him. I mean, Rage is going to be able to get another bow charge and deal pretty efficiently with this board.
Unless it's Misha that comes out the other end, right?
Yeah,
It would
if it's a
stop it.
Misha, then he can just like hold his position there and just kind of wait, because the bow can't really contest the Misha, so there's no reason to even proc the trap, and the Misha can just absorb damage. But we have no idea maybe if Reynad's Hunter even like curves up to high main or not, because it could possibly stop at Shredder and just be a hybrid Hunter.
Well, Reynad holds again on the attack, clearly saying, well, even if it is explosive trap, I don't want to help him right now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what does Rage really do here now? Because explosive's already up, and he drew a second explosive. That's terrible.
Yeah, it does not do anything for him. And the Argent Horse Rider just like committing that and trying to kill the Misha doesn't feel good at all. It's seeming like it might even be just a hero power pass turn. There's not too much going on. You could try and like kill the Misha if you wanted to, and then try and push with Glaivezuka on the next turn with the Argent Horse Rider. That's like the only other line I can think of. He's going to equip the Glaivezuka now. It looks like he queued it up.
Sure. Hopefully let it go through.
He sets up the board to die to explosive, which is pretty nice, as long as no Houndmaster is found by Reynad.
I think Reynad can now sort of tell it's explosive, right? Based
Yeah,
off that
you
attack.
should definitely be able to know it's explosive now. So now he should assume his opponent is probably more of a face-oriented Hunter.
Or he's just going to never attack here.
This plays a bit into Unleash, but he is getting rewarded now. It's good to have those minions on board to be able to trade with things
That's
as
true.
they come up.
And I think his interpretation is his opponent still couldn't get past his taunt, so he's going to force him to attack twice into it. Which
He's trying to make the read here that his opponent doesn't have Unleash by the way that he's been playing his cards.
So there's a lot of like next level thinking going on by both these players. I really like it.
Yeah, well, the traps in the Hunter Mirror are always extremely tentative. So it's like just getting the value out of your minions and being able to play around all possible scenarios of traps is really difficult. And the player that's able to do that the best is generally going to get a small edge. And usually you can push that small edge into bits of chip damage, which cause you to win the game.
That's right. Okay, so I mean the aggressiveness now has been revealed. So Reynad knows what kind of Hunter. Like he already kind of got an idea, but this is a really good example of it.
Yeah.
Now the question becomes of things like what secret is it? Does that even really matter because he has Flare? Flare does take a big chunk of the turn.
Well, he's going to be able to play Lothab down this turn and just lock his opponent out. Yeah.
No Flare.
No Flare and no removal coming out. I like Lothab a lot here. He prevents possible top deck Unleash, prevents the second explosive trap from coming down, prevents just a lot of annoying ways that can deal with his very weakened board from the explosive trap.
Uh-oh, Rage is in big trouble. Is he just going to Leroy? No, he just picks a Mad Scientist. He has an alternative now. Before his only play in the previous turn was the Leroy, and that feels so bad.
Yeah, Leroying into a freezing trap or explosive trap or whatever trap it is.
Yeah.
Any trap besides Snake Trap feels not very good.
All right, so it's not explosive. It's at least freezing or Snake. Or Bear Trap. Oh, no. Bear Trap just got activated. You're right. 5, 10, 11. Not nearly enough damage.
Yeah.
But you can put out a lot of damage, for sure.
You can set your opponent fairly low.
The maximum I think he can do is 15.
What to do?
It depends
You can do
too.
16.
I wonder. I don't even know if Rage has another trap in his deck, by the way. So if this Mad Scientist dies, does it even have an impact?
May not. That's for sure.
Reynad might even So I wonder if.
What to do?
But at the same time, he doesn't want to. He doesn't know that, right? He doesn't know the second explosive trap's in the hand, so he doesn't want to activate it that easily.
Yeah. Rage floated 2 mana last turn, and he has the flare in hand, and Reynad has a trap up. Guess he's trying to bait out more.
The Lotheb.
Oh, the Lotheb, that's why. I was like, that confused me so much. Oh,
yeah.
I was like, what is going on? That makes sense now.
Most damage possible for Reynad. This should drain him down to
yeah, he was just
digits.
counting there to try and see if there's any way he could die while doing this. And
not for 7 mana, I think.
not for 7 mana.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this felt like it wasn't Rage's game with the draws. Just so awkward. And the way Face Hunter is supposed to curve out is supposed to be pretty smooth, generally speaking.
Yeah, generally, no matter what your curve is, for the most part, as long as you get some sort of 1 or 2 drop early, which most of your deck is just 1 and 2 drops, then you're just filling out your curve with hero powers. So, like, the draws are generally, no matter what you get, all of your cards hit face damage, so it doesn't matter too much. But he had a very unfortunate draw with the way things panned out.
I feel like there's very few ways you could sequence worse draws for Rage here. And you just have to feel bad. But I also feel like he's making the best of his situation despite all that. There's clearly... unless Flare draws into Unleash the Hounds, there's clearly no way to stabilize this board. And even then, you might still lose because you're just so low health.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Snake Trap, by the way.
Snake Trap, that's interesting.
So all that effort, and it's just Snake Trap. Leroy plus Abusive is only 8 damage.
Yeah, looks like he is running out of time.
Yes. Yeah, like, even Explosive Trap wouldn't do anything. He didn't even get to use Flare. He's not going to even show Flare on the chance that he shows information to Reynad.